Welcome everybody to the Onward VR Master League Venue Showcase Season 13, Week 13. We're all 13'd up here this afternoon for what is going to be a high-tier NA battle in the regular season ladder, KFOT versus Cinder. We're looking at a team both in the Diamond Division, Cinder ranked 12th with KFOT ranked 19th. And when you talk about importance here of matchups, this one is vital for a team like Cinder, where they're just on the cusp of breaking up into that top 7, top 8 of the regular season ladder, which will auto-qualify you into the postseason for North American region. So there's a lot to be earned here in this battle for what is going to be only a few weeks left of regular season within the VR Master League. I think 15 weeks total, so 2 more weeks after this one. So not a lot of time left to get wins and to go up in rank. And so wins matter a lot right now. And so a big matchup that we're going to be jumping into this afternoon. For those that aren't familiar with the game, this is Onward. It's a 5 versus 5 military simulator. One team, the attacking team, the Marstock team, is attacking an objective, trying to get within a certain radius of that objective to enter in a 7-digit code to secure their team 2 points. The defending team, the Volk team, the Orange team, is defending that objective and trying to eliminate the attacking team or prevent them from capturing the objective for 6 minutes. Eliminating the opposing team gets you 1 point. Defending for the full time gets you 1 point. And so it is a battle to 4 points to secure themselves a map. Down beneath me, you'll see that we have a ban phase and a map pick phase. This means that we play 3 maps out with 2 maps being banned. At the start of the regular season, the community decides on a map pool that will be the map pool that teams pick from throughout the course of this season. And so that's what you're seeing here with these picks. The home team gets to pick the first ban. The away team gets to pick the second ban. Home team, KFOT, a ban abandoned. Away team, Cinder, ban Subway. The home team gets to pick the first map. So they are going to take us to a close quarters option, which is Suburbia. It's no surprise then that Abandon got cut off the table and that Cinder banned Subway, likely a ban of strength for KFOT. So we'll have to see how Suburbia goes for Cinder. They'll be starting on defense. KFOT will be starting on the attack in Suburbia. And we're just waiting for our 5th to finally connect in, and then we should be ready to dive in to the action. They do have everyone connected, so let's take a look at our active rosters for the afternoon before round 1 begins. Over on KFOT, we have KFOT Seal 54, number 3 Fever, Dida, and Ij. And over on Cinder, we have Not Sky, Daniel, Eris, Sarcasm, and Madman Mito. Excited to see these 2 teams duke it out. I don't think I've had the opportunity to cast them yet this season. I want to double check that because I could be wrong on that. But yeah, I don't think KFOT hasn't had a single match cast this. Neither has Cinder, interestingly enough. So 2 top teams in the NA division who are getting their first sort of debut onto the live space. And now we're waiting for a reconnect here over on the KFOT side. Maybe just an audio bug that we will be sorting out shortly. It does give us a chance to kind of go over and take a gander at our first objective of the afternoon, which is going to take us over into that far northwest corner of the map. This objective in particular, certainly a challenging one to attack. I think easier to defend than attack, and so we'll have to see how the defense sets up for this objective and what kind of style of attack KFOT's going to deploy. Is it going to be quick? Is it going to be slow paced? Are they going to utilize the full time, or are they going to be pushing in with 5 minutes left on the clock? There's a lot of variety of strats and pacing that neither of these teams really know unless they've played each other out against each other already this season. Double checking that. Don't think they've battled up against each other, so really going in blind. KFOT's a team that's been around for a little bit, since Season 11. Cinder, a team that I believe was created in Season 12, but has players that are, I believe, have been around for a little bit longer than Season 12. Well, not Sarcasm there, played on Midnight and Season 12. Eris, their captain, coming in on Season 12. They were rebranded from Devil Dogs. And so an impressive climb for the Cinder teams just a season ago. now battling out against again, another bit of an unknown. And again, we are just waiting for that 5th to reconnect, so for now, we'll cut back over to my beautiful face while we patiently wait for the start of this round. Quick shout out to everyone that is tuning in. If you are stopping by on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, or Horizon Venues, we go live on all of the platforms on the weekends. Sundays at 6, Saturdays at 6, Sundays at 12. Echo Arena goes live on this channel Saturday at 12, Sunday at 6. So we have a little double showing, I guess, of our most watched leagues, and very excited to again get into a match that I just don't have a good certainty on. You know, I'm not sure I don't know at all what kind of strategies we're going to be getting here from either side. Number one, because these teams are relatively new into the leagues, coming in season, well, I guess K-Fought again. I think we've watched a couple of their games. But the name's not really ringing bells to me, so maybe only a few here or there. Either way, yeah, I'm looking forward to this because this is a bit of an unknown space of NA. Obviously, we haven't shown a light on it this season, and I'm interested to see where we're at with the battle for what is, again, that climb up into the top 8, where they'll qualify into that postseason and be able to battle out for the prize pool and the season title. So definitely going to be exciting to see. It looks like we do have a 5th reconnected for K-Fought, and so we should be getting into round 1 shortly. Like I have already given go ahead teams, and so we should be hopping in to round 1 any moment. Again, that far northwest objective to kick things off, and they fought on the attack Cinder on defense. And if we have to wait any longer, and give a quick shout out to our sponsors, which you'll see ticking right across our screen here. They help contribute to and support the VRML. Those sponsors include ProTube VR, offering fantastic mounts that help stabilize your aim in-game in any of your favorite shooters that offer two-hand shooting. They also have great haptic feedback mounts for pistol mounts and for full two-handed mounts. Again, a good variety of products over there at ProTube, so do please go check them out. We also have VR Cover. Sorry, I blanked there. Offering us fantastic comfort products for any of your VR headsets. They do greatly enhance the comfort of any of your VR devices, so I do recommend it. It's a must-buy for any new device that I pick up. I always look for the VR Cover first, so please do go check them out. And then also Asterion, offering fantastic mounts, play mats, so that you can kind of feel your play space underneath your feet and know when you're going to get close to a wall by when you get close to the edge of the mat. It's a really cool kind of innovative way to be able to play aggressively within a play space that maybe isn't a whole warehouse, which I believe most of the standard person's play space is. So really nice little tool there. They also are pretty comfortable too, so you know you can, if you have hardwood floor, I would recommend you check one of those out. And that again is Asterion, so yeah, please do go check that out. Would appreciate the support there. We also will be doing giveaways live on this stream coming in October with the postseason. And so that's a couple weeks off, but once we start the postseason qualifiers for the individual regions and we start doing broadcasts live on this channel, we will be doing giveaways regularly, and so you are going to want to keep your eyes peeled for those giveaways and for that postseason action. That will be HyperX products like mice, keyboards, headphones, microphones, a lot of good quality products that we are happy to support with HyperX, and so you're not going to want to miss out on those giveaways when we do them. So please check that out when we do have those live broadcasts. And again, that's going to be in the postseason starting in October. I just had to send messages that they arguably didn't read, and they are now underway. And so it was obviously the magic of the casting desk that has gotten us into round number 1 for real now. KFOT on the attack, Cinder on the defense. We're going to get into it and see how KFOT rolls out on the offensive for round number 1. Turn your lasers on so we can get a better idea of where they're looking, but early suppressive fire through the edges comes out to allow Ares to push forward and set up into a bit of an aggressive position tucked in behind the sandbags. Those sandbags are not penetrable, unlike a lot of the shrubs and wood walls that you do see on this map. And so Ares is pushed up into a nice forward defensive position, especially for this objective. And so it does look like at least with this initial setup, that KFOT isn't going to get too aggressive out the gate. Cinder's really just kind of assessing what this play style looks like from this offense, and right now they should be sort of picking up that it isn't going to be a quick-paced attack. They're not seeing any aggressive smokes coming in. The trouble is that it could be a coordinated planned attack, and that they are just setting up for their smoke push in what could be at any moment, really, now or within the next couple of minutes, potentially around the 2-minute mark if we want to see a bit more of a EU style of an attack. Go on board those shots, though, as there are some shots coming in from the offense up through those shrubs. Again, just through the wood, kind of poking and prodding at some potential positions. But for now, Cinder is tucked in and not going to be able to be killed by this blind fire. Not Sky does catch one way down on the corner. Nice pickup there. That shuts down the rotation. A non-smoked corner peek. Definitely risky. Dida comes up and over and takes blind fire at this corner, but no one's there, and so just information for Cinder. You can hear that being radioed back to the team. More shots coming in through the shrubs. Again, just blind fire. KFOT still have not really tried to push past this middle point even, as they are now slowly working their way up, and so it looks like this initial attack from KFOT is going to be slow-paced, likely timed around the 2-minute mark.
빨간색 뒷줄기 하나 있어요. 빨간색 뒤에 그 풀숲에 박스는.
They fought a full Korean team. Not in the net. And Ares just patiently waiting for what they're anticipating to be a coordinated push. And I expect it to be coordinated. Expect it to be timed maybe even around the 2.5-minute mark. Ares does decide to peek out, though. They do take a risk, but they catch number 3. Now comes in the utility and some extra pushes, but there's counter utility from Ares up over the top just to try and push back Dida from pushing forward. Ares calls out that there's one here. They see K-Fever up the line, and they do end up trading. Seal tries to push out. They go down to Daniel. The call out helps reinforce that angle as Daniel does check over the top and ends up catching a kill. And now Dida is alone in a 1v4. A not ideal situation they find themselves in. And with limited time, 2.5 left on the clock, it was looking like a good Cinder defensive round. But clutches are possible in a game like Onward, and so we'll have to see if Dida can lock it in this 1v4 and pick them apart one at a time. Oh, they're going to peek out, and they are going to catch Madman Mito. That's going to be a nice start to this comeback. Peeking out on this corner is going to be challenging as they have a couple of eyes on the short angle and on that prone angle. Easy, not exactly safe as those bullets do come whizzing over their head. There's a smoke grenade to be earned, but they're going to need to use that. Oh, wow, they stand up and fly back. They're going to toss the smoke, though, and then that's going to be distracting so that they can relocate, maybe even catch Sarcasm out here on this rotation. They come up onto the slide, can't quite catch the kill. 1v3 still within the grasp here as Dida's trying to clutch it up for their team. Sky sees the cross, and in that very camouflage position, they do catch out the kill. Cinder lose only 2, but a hard-fought defensive round for them that does net them a good start. A disconnect likely after the fact there, so hopefully that 5th will be back into the lobby for Cinder, and we'll be back into the action for round number 2. Either way, they have about a minute and a half between rounds where the teams can strategize, and so they still do have some time there as well before potential timeout is necessary. Either way, a nice start for Cinder, a good solid defense. Standard setup around an objective that I think is easier to defend than attack. So we'll have to see how Cinder attacks this objective, what kind of timing, what kind of style they're going to deploy. Always the kind of question mark we have here. And Ares has reconnected, so could be moving into round number 2 soon enough. For those not in the know, every round we swap sides. Every 2 rounds, the objective changes location. In the game of Onward, there's multiple objectives each map, and as you would guess, we can only play 4 objectives out before one team scores 4 points. You can obviously play less objectives out if a team caps or you don't continue to trade rounds back and forth, but that is the maximum amount of objectives that you can play on a map, and there are more than 4 objectives on a map. And so what that means is that the objective placement is random. You don't know where you're going to be defending next after the 2 rounds. And so after this, we will be changing objectives. Neither team knows where it's going to be, and we get to see how they adapt and change their attack strategy. It's like we'll get to see how Cinder gets the opportunity to attack as we swap sides every round. We swap sides, and KFOT defend with Cinder on the attack. We'll have to see how they roll things out here. Maybe a cap attempt. We'll have to see. That would certainly get things going. A nice quick push in a smoke cap to get them up 3-0, but that's certainly a hard thing to achieve against a team that is not inexperienced. This team is again, to be able to battle up into the diamond tier, especially in Season 13, which has been pretty dang competitive, is impressive. And so Cinder are not going to find any easy wins, I would say, here this afternoon. Gets up into a bit of an off-meta position. Have, like, some cover, but a bit of a limited amount. Ooh, that's before comes up and over, and it does catch Daniel. They hear the down audio cue, so Fever is going to peek out and catch the kill, and then they read Sarcasm in the window that will peek their shots, and they do. They catch that trade. Ares doesn't know that there's one dead here, but does toss a pretty nicely placed grenade to the front of the Jeep, and then rotates back. Maybe potentially reconnecting with the rest of the team as Cinder is cut down to just 3. They fought, do lose 1, so it's a 4v3. Pretty aggressive defense here from KFOT, setting up very far forward on these edge lanes. Normally you wouldn't want to push too far away from the objective. Right now, they do have relatively weak on-objective coverage, so this defense could end up costing them, but it could also end up paying off, as, again, it is pretty off-meta. So Dida going to be able to catch a kill there, and Seal 54 waiting for any sort of rotation. But I get who has eyes on objective? Who has eyes on this final cross? And it does look like, oh, we were forgetting about the 4th. From KFOT, we couldn't see him. Number 3 does have a very late angle. We're watching this, but a smoke has come out, and if you hold too late of an angle, there is an opportunity for a player to go past through that and end up getting into cover. So I think it's a pretty good angle there for number 3. I don't think Ares is going to have an easy time crossing this. It is just Ares. Who is that final one left on Cinder? Not Sky together here on this side.
One's to line 3 or line.
So we got 1 lane 3?
Or line 4. Sure.
I think they're gonna hold tight now.
Trying to get close enough for information and trying to follow the movements is difficult, but they are Both just kind of relaying how many deaths there are, how many kills they think they have. Right now, there's only one down for KFOD, and so Duo has to make do with what they have. Notsky's covering the stairs while Ares loots and pillages, and then Ares seemingly confirming maybe
No, just
putting blind fire through the shrubs. Guy will continue to follow Ares, and so it's going to come down to this duo and how they're going to sync up and coordinate their way across the street. It's going to be no easy task. Again, I think attacking the objective is actually their best bet, but interestingly enough, KFOT seemed to have set up a defense with that impression in their mind as well, knowing that an offense is a little less likely to attack from that side. And so their defense is heavily stacked into these side lanes. Lanes 3 and 4, as they're commonly called. Versus on the objective, it's being set up. And I wonder if it is going to throw off or deter the Cinder team from pushing this side. Oh, and the swing there almost gets Notsky and Ares. If it was maybe a second or two later, could have potentially cut them out. Oh, and it does catch Notsky there. They can't get out from the shrubs. Time becomes a factor now for this attacking team. If they can't get that objective in a minute and a half, they're going to lose the round, and so Ares going to have to advance forward here. Advancing forward right in several lines. Maybe catch the angle. Number 3 could pop up and over and have a kill. Does catch Eage and drops back in time to maybe check or verify that they are the only one left alive after they do call out that kill. 1 minute left now. Flash not going to be good enough to connect, and if anything will give away that there is going to be a peek here on this side. Did hit die to those. They do tuck in. Oh yeah, trying to look underneath, going to expose Ares to Dida before Dida gets spotted by Ares. And a nice trade, just like Cinder, only 2 go down, and KFOT hold on to a defensive round. We'll take a quick look at the kill deaths so far in the series. Fever doing nice. Notsky 2-1 as well. Dida 3-1. That aggressive corner defense on the east side paying off. Ties us up 1 apiece here on Suburbia tonight, though, and certainly not complaining out the gate. An exciting duel, and then we do go now to an objective that is a little bit more volatile than the last one. There's less cover between the teams, and so you end up having these thick lanes where a lot of pre-fire comes through, and sometimes kills come out early, sometimes aggression comes out early, and you get this kind of battle on the north and south lanes. But I really do like this objective, how it ends up shaking out. Is still going to be a question mark here because KFOT, you know, I want to know if this is a team that has a variety of styles. At a level like this, especially when you get up into that master tier, you do have to be able to throw a variety of pacing and styles at a team. You have to be able to slow pace and slow roll the attack. You have to be able to do an attack in under a minute. You have to be able to do an attack at 3. You have to be able to do this so that you can keep the opponent on defense on their toes at all times. Otherwise, a good defense will start to read your pace and will start to read strategy and then plan accordingly around that. Into the action we go for round number 3, though. KFOT again on the attack. And there's that free fire I was talking about. A lot of it coming in from a couple of players on both sides, and Daniel is going to catch 1. Number 3 does go down. Early utility coming in as well. A very early smoke and flash.
Metal one. Minus one.
He continues to move forward. Has Notsky down. Sarcasm throwing some counter utility up, and that's actually going to catch out K-Fot Eej. They're going to duck in to cover. Nice read of their surroundings and being blind. Does get them safely into a corner, but that smoke is ticking away, and as it goes, they now have a bit of a tougher cross. It's a little bit more out in the open. Ares catches one. Sarcasm throws some more lead down range, as they say. And Madman Mito is going to get K-Fever in that South Street. Ooh, and a bit of a side flank, a double kill from Dida. They're on fire this afternoon. Cinder is just back into this one. Excuse me, K-Fot's right back into this one. Sarcasm flies out on aggression. Catching out that kill, the lone defender here. A big play that sets them up for what is now a 1v1. We'll see if they can clutch it here with Seal inside center building now. And, ooh, Sarcasm is going to be able to tuck into a very good defensive position. Oh, and Sarcasm is going to swing the corner. K-Fot Seal not ready for what was an aggressive solo defense from Sarcasm, but a clutch solo defense from them. And all 3 kills that round definitely locks them in for the lead 2-1 here. We continue to trade defensive rounds. Will that continue as we go into our next one, though? K-Fot on the defense, Cinder on the attack at this time. I'll have to see if this, let's say, aggressive objective spawn here ends up playing into their hands or against it. I'm not sure the sort of style really from either team now, because K-Fot definitely went aggressive there on the attack. The objective warrants it, and that spawn, you know, it is very hard to push forward and get out of sometimes, unless you do also put out a lot of counter suppressive fire. And so I still don't know what to expect here, even for map 2 when we start to look ahead in this series where we could be going. Cinder is going to be able to pick that map. Maybe we end up going into a bit more range with Downfall. We get to see maybe some sniping, but there is also a lot of close quarters like Cargo and Tanker still on the table. We also have Bazaar as a ground quarantine on the plate. And so there's a lot of map variety out there that we could be duking it out in. And I suppose I could take a look at the stats for Cinder. That'll give us a better idea of their preference. And no, we're going to, they Snow Peak. They've played it 10 times, but they've only won it 50% of the time. And so I don't know if that's confidence there. Quarantine is 2-2. Cargo is 7-5. I think we could be heading to Cargo for map number 2. We could be in store for a bit of a close quarters battle this afternoon. We'll have to see. We do get back into the action for round number 4 on map 1. Plenty of series left ahead of us between these two who are duking it out right now. Cinder on the attack, and what a different style of defense. No pre-fire coming in on the defensive side. They do all push up and tuck in. But again, seems to be pretty forward positions. Here's the aggression. K-Fot Seal in number 3 swinging in. The flash over the top, and now the defense nicely set up. We'll have to see how Cinder try and attack this. Number 3's position is very risky. Seal pretty aggressive, and I wonder if Daniel or Mad saw Seal rotate up in here. Oh, they're out there hearing Seal, and so now this position's certainly given away. Let's see Mito. Nails on the porch. Safe from Seal for now.
Yeah, that definitely.
내션 쪽으로 오고 있어요.
Center house.
Oh, and Ease actually catches Ares. Mad goes down. as the call out for Dida comes in. Dida pops up over, catches one on the porch. Daniel's lucky they weren't there. That's a good nade that doesn't go into the tight corner. Sarcasm catches Ease getting aggressive. Number 3 doesn't get caught out on a rotation. Well, I guess Daniel number 3 it does, but number 3 it doesn't. And Not Sky does kind of swing for a refrag, but Cinder are down to 2. K-Fought have out-aggressed them here on defense, and now Cinder with Sarcasm and Not Sky, they're going to try and take control of the hedge corner where they do actually have a pretty good defense set up. Both Ij and Fever here waiting for this push to come through up onto this corner. And you're seeing the other team, the other side defense there, Deep Dida and Seal rotating back to help support. So definitely going to be tough. Oh, Ij was down. I thought they were prone. They were down, but they do get rezzed. They fought back to 5. Not exactly what Cinder want, but a perfect defensive round would be optimal for them. Taking them into our next objective, they'll go on to the attack. Maybe a little bit momentum into their hands. Ease is just kind of blind checking corners here, pre-firing them before they get to them so that they will win that peak. One is home, though, and for now, Not Sky and Sarcasm are slowing things down. They have 3 minutes left. And so it seems like they are just waiting out team because K-Fought has been so aggressive on defense. On both defensive rounds, really. And not afraid to push up forward away from that objective and flashbangs, go on the hunt for kills. Style, and it really has won them a good advantage here for, again, what is round number 4 of the first map. Oh, they see Fever on the corner. They're going to catch a trade. Fever can't be rezzed again, so we are going to go on board to one of the defenders here, Ij, who has taken shots over towards Not Sky's position, and now Not Sky has pushed out from between the wood there, and I wonder if there's a quiet route for them to go. Now with number 3 there's going to be the tray between the two, and K-Fought will catch a defensive round. We continue to trade defensive rounds down, and we'll take a look at the KD, where we're headed for our next day. Like is going to be over in that a similar position to the first objective, but very different in terms of how you can attack and what the kind of defense is required for an objective like this. Oftentimes you do see pretty aggressive plays deployed here on this objective, and so oops. Apologies for that tech transition there, but we did have to quick reset the scoreboard. And so we are, again, at 2-2 here, and with the KDs coming in, Dida at 6 and 2, Sarcasm 4 and 2, respective lead shooters for their teams. K-Fever, though, with 5 and 4. The next best 3 and 3. So they fought stacking their kills a little bit more. We did have I believe one of these players drop and then reconnect after the first round, so their KDs may not be accurate, but I think it was Ares who's potentially even 3 and 3, which would spread that KD out a little bit more for Cinder. The reason I point that out is because there is some potential risks in a team that is relying heavily on 1 or 2 players, and that if they go down early in a round in an unfortunate circumstance or trade, it can set the rest of the team up for a challenging time that they aren't necessarily loose or warmed up for. And so we'll have to see how those two continue to perform. Out the gate, we do see some free fire from Daniel. Ares might have been tagged, but they're alive, and so they're still able to push forward and tuck in around the corner. But a lot of free fire here, and a very late, passive setup from KFOT. As out of spawn, they go into the two-story building. They look for any kind of potential advantage they can get from that second floor, shooting down into the defense, and they try and catch out a defense that's rotating quickly around the objective. But nobody is here where these gunfire is going towards, and for now at least, Cinder is all 5 alive. You can see Cinder definitely prioritizing around the objective, not pushing too far out to that far lane. Could potentially be a weak point that KFOT could exploit, but we'll have to see how KFOT do want to push in this. It'll be a bit of time before we see anything from them, though. With this kind of setup, it's an indicator that they're not going to be advancing forward until late into the round. And so if you are Cinder, you can maybe assume this, because you hear these gunshots coming in from the spawn building, but it's a danger to assume that the team's not going to push until closer to the end of the mark, and they are going to throw some early smokes here, so it seems maybe the attack's coming in a little sooner than I thought.
모르겠어요. 다 살아있어요. 아, 다 살았어, 다 살았어. 네, 소리 나요, 소리 나요.
Nice swing there from Matt, and they're going to catch out the two trying to advance up into that center lane. That's going to be a nice start. And now as they try and push forward, number 3 does actually catch Daniel through the wood, but I don't think that was their intended target. It was meant for Madman, who was on the corner there, and it don't quite catch them. They're not going to be able to go through that Hesco crate, so it is going to be safe cover as long as Madman does stay tucked in there. And so we'll have to see how this push ends up unfolding. Do have Sarcasm guarding their flank, and so if Fever does try to poke out here, it's going to be tough. If they do try and push forward through this lane, it's going to be tough. Ares obviously has a nice line here, and so even if they do try and cross this side, it's going to be a challenge. Ares doesn't take the shot onto Fever. Could maybe tag the shoulder, but does allow for utility to get thrown, and it actually is going to blind Ares a little bit. Pretty good death audio there from Fever. Does actually get Madman to peek out. Number 3 has gotten past the defense. Ares in this tight corner going to be a vital line of defense, and they end up trading their way down. Fever and Dida, the final 2, with number 3 Resable on the corner, and there may be a rotation for that res here. Would be smart, would put them at 2 on objective, with Sarcasm really the only one to defend. And Fever is going to get this res. The duo could swing here. Player comes out, not sure for who, but it is out. Sarcasm's up against wood, that's penetrable. Number 3 is going to try and push out. The tablet comes out a touch too early. They weren't quite in safe cover. Sarcasm does catch one there. Fever realizing they've lost one. Now unsure how to continue this push. Dida's drawing Not Sky to keep their attention there. Fever's going to try and peek, but Sarcasm standing behind cover that's easily penetrable, maybe catching the offense off guard because of that. They weren't expecting someone to be there. It is so risky. Either way, Dida's alone now in a 1v2. Six and 2 on the series so far. Dida certainly shooting well. We'll have to see how they do want to try and approach this. There is a grenade there. Really nice. Does that go far enough to catch Sarcasm? It does! It catches Sarcasm out. Daida's not going to know this. As you can tell, they threw that nade, got up onto the second floor, and didn't see anything from it. Throw a follow-up of a flash, but that is a nade that connects on the only defender on objective. It's going to force a rotation. Outsky, at the very least, has eyes along this lane, and Daida could potentially be pushing into it. Sarcasm won't be able to see this rotation from their position as they're downed. There's more utility coming in. Flash up and over. That works against Daida. Didn't catch Notsky, and Notsky holds on with a patient round.
Good shit, man.
Clutching it for the team. Cinder trade away their Volk rounds and now go in to map point. For map number 1. 3-2 here. KFOC going on the defense on that same objective. And what a map 1 this has been. So a couple of 1v2s, a couple of 1v1s. Doesn't get a whole lot better than that. Good utility use. Wish we had tracked that nade throw all the way. But a nice nade that almost sets that cap up. And couldn't quite find either the final kill or the denial of vision that they needed to cross that gap. And so if that flash had connected, there may have been a chance. The flash had gone a little farther. Maybe there would have been an opportunity to push there, but you would have seen blind fire coming out, and so it wouldn't have been a clean approach either way. Nice attempt, though. And again, an exciting couple of rounds here in the start of map 1. Cinder is going to be Cargo. I'm very much looking forward to how these two teams would battle out a map like that. Cargo is even more close quarters than Suburbia. Well, I suppose maybe... yeah, maybe as long. A little bit shorter, but maybe as long as Suburbia. Definitely not as wide. And played very differently. Utility, a big impact there. Flashbangs can take you a long way. We'll have to see if that gets played out, how it gets played out. It's just my assumption that we'll be heading there based on the stats from Cinder, who will have that map pick. Anyway, we go into what could be map point for Cinder. We'll have to see if KFOC can hold on defense for round number 6. A similar defensive setup, but a very different offensive push. Fever pushed up into their off-meta position here in the corner. They're blind. They're in the middle of smokes. They're trying to throw a counter C4 up and over. That does catch Notsky. Another kill comes in from Eves. Cinder get absolutely picked apart on the aggression. Ares is going to fly the tight corner. They find one, and it's absolute chaos across the battlefield. Eves has to peek back behind over the top. They find a kill. Daniel scoops up Daida on the south side. We're into a 1v1 within the first minute. Cinder could potentially clutch this up. It's going to all come down to Daniel trying to lock in this final kill. Eves, oh my, almost spots Daniel there on the corner, but Daniel is able to drop back into cover. For now, the 1v1 has stalled. And wow, they are really going to put the brakes on things here. Daniel has pushed all the way back into spawn building. What they're trying to do is catch a kill over the top of the shrubs, find anything they can from the second floor to potentially get them an advantage, but they're not going to see anything from Eves as they've tucked in on objective as they should. So it's going to come down to that on-objective push. I don't know what kind of utility is left for Daniel here. Yes. Is he going to be ready for it? They're not. Cinder are going to win the Marsoc round. They're going to take the map. A light celebration from Daniel, but a warranted one. as they do take map number 1 and KFOT's map pick, no less, 4-2. Tough pill to swallow for the KFOT team as Cinder now going to their map pick. So the question becomes, where do we go from here for our second map? Again, statistically, it looks like Cargo is a favorite for Cinder. It's on the table. What else is there, though? Bazaar is an option. Abandon has been banned, and so we do go to Bazaar for map number 2, although got a little twist on it, and that it is in the night. And you may be wondering what the impact of night is on a map, and it is actually substantial. At the start of rounds, teams get to create a loadout. That loadout is created with a certain number of points that you can allocate to a loadout. Once you have used up all your points, you cannot attach or put on any more elements to your kit. So, as an example, scopes cost 1 to 3 points depending on the scope. Guns cost a certain number of points. Grenades, utility, body armor all cost points. And so you do have to factor this in when you create a loadout. You can only have so much on your kit. Some players will not run a scope on guns so that they can allocate an additional point to another smoke or body armor or a flashbang, maybe a grenade if they have an extra point spared, because grenades are 2. And so there's a calculation, is what I'm getting at, that has to go into a loadout, and night vision requires points, and so it impacts what your standard loadout would look like on a map that otherwise you're very familiar with. These teams, no strangers to Bazaar. We have the luxury, thankfully, of turning off that sort of night vision, and so as we get into round 1, we'll show the comparison, but the map is dark. It won't be for us, but it is dark, and we are going to kick things off onto an objective that is pretty hard to defend when it's daytime. We'll have to see how KFOT hold up on defense, as again, we do go into Cinder's map choice. And see if Cinder can weather Storm, put up a good Marsuck round here, continue to pile points on. I suppose if anyone's going to be weathering a storm, it's going to be KFOT here. Turn back on that night vision. Even in the lights, it's pretty tough to see. Sarcasm was set up as a first line of defense, and oh, look at this aggression from Eej. It does get caught out by Not Sky, but not before Eris is dead and unresable. So 1-for-1 trade. KFOT have definitely displayed aggression on defense, and I wonder if Cinder are starting to read this at all. For 3 is looking for blood. They try and catch the kill. The rotation from Not Sky, it doesn't come through. Look at this. Seal 54 up next, looking for kills on the hunt over the top of garbage. These are all positions you wouldn't normally check, but you wouldn't expect someone to actually be here. It's almost uncanny to have 3 defenders holding this side, but they are very much set up for Cinder to try and push this lane. And in the darkness, they have shut them down. Looking for anything that they can spot out the windows. They are anticipating aggression on the defense, as they should now. But this aggression does have a cost. It does mean you have to invest several of your defenders to be away from the objective. Away from the objective. This one in particular has several risks. Daniel is potentially going to showcase one of them. They should be able to get around Fever. The main element's going to be Seal. And once they shoot and kill Seal, it's going to be kind of an alarm bell to the rest of the defense. Dida will be a little bit more aware that a potential push is coming in from the north. Oh, but Seal goes
Echo
down.
3, Echo 3, got
Seal
you
goes
guys.
down in a trade, and that is a very big trade. Because, again, it does open up the opportunity
You in the far north.
for Daniel to push into the north. No one's rotating here. No one's covering the cross. It is essentially free to push to this objective. There is other elements here as number 3 just barely avoids what is a multi-floor push.
Echo 2, Echo 2.
Fever goes down to Daniel. And now the cross to objective is open. Smoke comes out, and Daida has to panic and defend this objective, has to tuck in close, has to go out into the open, where Cinder will catch themselves their Marsoc round and start their map pick off 1-0. The Knight maybe playing into their hands here, as again you can see just how dark it is out there if you're not looking through night vision. Night vision, for the record, doesn't just do this either. It is a bit of a greenish hue. So, something to note when we do go into first person, that we aren't necessarily seeing exactly what they are seeing with that night vision on. Certainly an interesting choice. 6-3 on Bazaar. So Cinder, although starting off well, having that first map win in the pocket as well, isn't a map that they exactly dominate on. Maybe that's because the times they lose, it's been daytime, and the times they've won, it's been night. That would be the guess if they continue to perform like they have. But we'll have to see as we do go back into it for round number 2. Again, we swap sides every round, so Cinder defend this time, and KFOT have an opportunity to attack. Let's see how they do it. They're playing well so far, and we'll see if they can continue to ride that momentum.
Maybe. They could push it through center. They're going to stay back, remember? They push forward. Start.
I don't think for Bazaar.
Sarcasm's position is pretty aggressive. Pushing all the way forward here. Daida, in the meanwhile, has been playing a patient angle, waiting to see if there is any aggressive rotations from the north. Rest of the offense getting ready, but it is going to be a northeast push based on the setup. Go on board Sarcasm, as they could very well run into KFOT's attacker. He's just going to catch the kill.
-1.
That peak is risky, though. Get a little extra ammo here from an opponent's weapon, no less. Maybe a gun that they prefer over their own. Because you do see that they discarded theirs. Maybe it's got a few more attachments on it than Aegis did. Either way, they are looking for any kill across the way here. Not Sky's crouched deep enough, and I think they're going to catch ARAS out. So for now, E scans and begins slowly working their way up to the objective. They also do have Fever, now prone and trying to catch ankles underneath the wood there. No one getting over aggressive on Cinder's side, though. Everyone really tucked into their positions and waiting for KFOT to make the move. Wonder what the timing is for KFOT to make that move. I believe the timing is going to come down to this north push. To CL54 rotating in from the north side. Light. He's definitely going to kick things off here with a nice kill up the center. Madman Mito has to watch for this push, but they're on objective, and so they do have a powerful position there. smokes coming in there from Dida up into the center. Don't do a whole lot to deny vision from Ares, who is still alive over in the corner here. They're waiting for the exit, but KFOT have 5, and that's very dangerous. When you've lost 3, when you've lost 2, you're down to 3. KFOT have an opportunity to potentially smoke and get utility up onto this objective space. How they make this cross, where the smokes lie, is the big question, though. And hearing footsteps behind them as Dida gets very close to Daniel on the other side.
There's one on me, backside. Yep.
Daniel deciding to communicate the info and gets it out to the team. Meanwhile, Madman Mito catches a kill. There's another one from Daniel. A nice kill there. As Seal decides to push in, Madman Mito tries to hold on, completely blind. Seal 54 catches the kill. Tablets are out. They're punching in the code. Can the defense get here in time as Ares goes down in the front? Daniel's trying to crash around the corner, and he can't get there before either Seal or Ease, who was it, enters in the code. It looks like it was Seal who gets KFOT too, and just like that, they're back into it with a 1 point lead on their opponent's map pick. But our first cap of the afternoon. That's the goal of the attacking team. It's been, well, you know, several rounds since we've really seen a team go for it. But if you get close enough to the objective, you pull your tablet out and you punch in a code that gets you 2 points. It can take some time, and so you did see a little bit of time there once they got into the radius, but very nice play there, a nice plan. Ares having to rotate back and that defense having to crash back. Just well planned. And KFOT, perfect answer back. You can't ask for it better. Gets you back into the lead, nullifies that Marsoc W, and sets you up to not have to worry about, you have an extra round on your hands, essentially. You could trade Volk rounds all the way down like we did see last round, or they could afford to lose one. And so, very nice position for them to be in going on to the defense for this next objective. As we do, objective changes location every 2 rounds, and so although there is 3 points on the board, we have only played 2 rounds out because of that cap. Objective changes, swap sides, Cinder back on the deck, and KFOT again looking to kind of add on to that lead. Take a look at the KDs before we get into round number 3. Both Daniel and Mito really standing out here this afternoon. Apiece. Almost everyone getting in on the action on Cinder versus KFOT, relying on a couple of standout shooters. Seal, number 3, and Eege. We'll have to see if that continues or if the rest of the team comes alive as we go into round number 3.
Kick.
Able to set up and catch one on a rotation early, but they can't get this confirmation where you put a few more bullets into a downed body to make sure it cannot be res. And look at this, Ease getting aggressive. You have to kind of keep an eye though on the rest of this team though, because they do have one off the defense, don't they? Yeah, in the back there, Mito. Oh, Sarcasm actually here, trying to just get through this defense with a hole in it, but Fever was ready and waiting. And Daniel is trying to get this res. There's a lot of LMG fire coming down to it. Mito not going to drop back for that, going to continue their advancement up along the south side, and I think it's the right choice. The south side could be something if KFOT continue to get aggressive. There's a nice kill. Daniel finds Ease, who was getting pretty aggressive.
Yeah, I'm close to him. Hold on.
Almost got behind him, and Not Sky. Press is going to be risky. Not Sky's been down for a while, too, so I do wonder if they're going to get here in time. Yes, they do. Wow, Daniel gets Not Sky up. It is a 3v4.
He's still down.
Ease with a friendly hello before they get knifed and confirmed. No longer resible. We got to keep the attention split. Nito pushing in from the south. Waiting to see if they run into Dida there, but Dida's holding a late angle through the window, so Mito is going to be okay for a little bit. As I say that, Dida takes a little gander outside, and they'll see Mito out in the open. So down goes the south attempt, and it's going to be out to Daniel and Sky pushing in from the front. But they are going to have to get rid of Fever first, who is holding that tucked-in corner angle. That's going to be 3 for them on the corner. Fever definitely putting up a big round there. All 3 kills so far on this map netted in that round. And it certainly did help. Because like I said, you just need some of the other shooters to come alive, and then that whole team is a threat. 3-1 now for KFOT. They're looking to bounce back here in style for map number 2. This means that we could be headed to a map 3 decider. Would be under the choice of KFOT. When we look at their stats, Subway is their preferred, and so that was a banished rank. Suburbia is their second most. Bizarre, coincidentally enough, their third most. There, where do we go, though? Maybe Quarantine, potentially Downfall, though very lightly played. Snow Peak would be a no-go because of how much... I don't know, though. It's only a 50% win rate from Cinder. KFOT have won it the both times they played it, so maybe Snow Peak. Cargo... I think Quarantine is where we'll go for map 3. Which certainly would be exciting. I think Quarantine's a very good competitive map. A lot of variety. Requires a lot of knowledge and strategy. We're not there yet, though. What could be the map point for KFOT is here as we swap sides and Cinder defend the same objective and KFOT attack. Yeah. Not Sky likely to run into anything. No, they don't continue their push forward. Daniel is on the hunt down an early lane, but they're not going to spot anything. KFOT have prioritized just swinging a little bit farther over to the west side. But is going to be able to get here safe and sound. There isn't going to be any out front aggression from Cinder. Daniel's really the only one. I say that, but Not Sky also has an ink. If anything, Dida has the right idea. Pushing in from this side, pushing in through this dark lane, relatively uncovered by this defense. We, of course, see it. A lot easier for us to see than the attacking team because they can't see through walls. Or see name tags, really, so even harder to identify the defenders in this darkness. That's why night vision really is required. Oh, and a pop-up peek shot onto Daniel from Ease. Nicely done. There's the south approach. There's nothing here in the south anymore. There never was for KFOD. As I say that, number 3 does potentially start an advancement down. And like I said, there is an entry point there for Dida. They've already made their way now to the backside of Madman Mito, who is looking out these windows. Ease goes down to... Nice identification there. And now Dida hearing footsteps from Mito the same. Both know that they're here. You can see Mito really trying to play those footsteps to identify where Dida could be pushing in from. Oh my goodness, it is so close between the two. Oh, and there's going to be the trade on the corner. That means they lose coverage of this potential entry point, but for now, the on-objective defense is a little bit more important. Sarcasm IDs, KFOD. Not Sky catches Fever trying to push up the stairs. Ooh, and number 3 almost takes the shots onto Sarcasm as they rotate out of their position there. Such close rounds in this series so far here, and another close one. Number 3 and Seal trying to do it with a trio that's nicely tucked in around objective. Going to be hard to root them out. Will they be ready for the stairwell defense? Question. They've heard the audio. They get past Not Sky.
One's in the
Up on the stairs, and now this threat could potentially open up an opportunity for the push from number 3, which we do see coming in. Has to get inside the building here, just on the other side of Sarcasm and Ares. And this is real good discipline from this Cinder team.
One's in my building.
Likely have an accurate kill count, and so they have that comfortability of staying tucked in here. Oh, and there's going to be another trade. That's going to be a res, though, and so Seal is alone in a 1v3. Not Sky's going to peek the corner. No, they don't see Seal there. Seal tries to get the kill, but it costs them. And Cinder put a defensive round on the board. What has been and is shaping up to be quite the series here continues to deliver. We swap objectives and go to a new one. KFOT, like I said, have that luxury of potentially losing a round on defense. And so they are going to be going on to defense here now, up 3-2. If they lose this, we're all tied up. They go on to the attack and have to win to take the map. But either way, again, map point coming up here. Not series. Well, I guess potentially series point too. If Cinder do cap, they'll win this map too and take the series. We play the third map out no matter what, but I always do root for internally in my heart a map 3 decider, because then that's 3 maps of high intensity onward action. So that's what I'm always here to tune into. If you are tuning in, we do appreciate you, whether you're on Twitch, YouTube, Horizon, venues, or Meta. We appreciate you stopping by and enjoying the action. If you don't know what venues is, it's an app you can go download on your Quest or Quest 2, and you can enjoy watching this on a movie theater-sized screen with other people in VR. It's a really cool way to enjoy VR esports. We do it every weekend, and we do it for Echo Arena as well, 12 o'clock on Saturdays, 6 o'clock on Sundays. So yeah, do please check it out. Back into the action we go, though, for round number 4. connecting onto Dida. They'll survive, tucked back in, and now have information. Guy on a number. Dida putting some rounds over the top that don't. Dida kind of poking and prodding, searching for Notsky there. While a lot of gunfire coming in up the middle from this KFOT defense as they try and shut down Cinder. They've already caught one. So KFOT definitely set up nicely into a 5v4, but look at that, such a close laser coming in from right there, from not Sky. Not Day. Goes down, and this aggressive KFOT defense continues to kind of ring true as a theme where they are really poking out and trying to catch these kills where they don't need to be. They don't need to be pushing out here. Dida doesn't need to be checking that corner.
Got blue room, got blue room.
A big pickup, though, to get rid of blue room. Another one goes down. Number 3 gets picked up on objective defense.
Yes,
Suddenly chopped down and weak, and Dida has to come rotating back. Where is the final defender? Oh, it's Seal. Could potentially have an angle onto the side of Mita. There it is. And as they rush back, be able to set up in time. Oh no, that's going to be a battle over the truck here. Oof, what an impressive play from Seal. Very dangerous crossing that street uncovered, and oh no, as the Not Sky reloads, they find an empty round trying to confirm that kill. It leaves an opportunity for Dida to get the shots off, and now we're again into a 1v1 with Cinder just trying to take another round and push this off so they can potentially catch the series on map 2, but KFOT want to make this even, 4-2 apiece. They got Seal in a perfect position to call out the rotation too, so Dida really doesn't have to peek. In the game of Onward, when you do get downed and are not fully killed, you can relay information to your team with the radio. You can also see around you, and so essentially you're a little bit of a UAV, a recon drone, so to speak. You can be killed, though. If you're shot while you're on the ground, that will confirm you, and then that option to communicate with your team goes away. You're sent to the tent. Okay. 2:14 left, and I like this rotation away from Seal. Seal still, though, could identify this cross. Very least call it out to Dida, and Dida does seem to be rotating and looking for the potential angle here over onto the street. It is really just a guessing game here. For Sarcasm is... He may not have an accurate kill count either. It does make it a challenge. And again, Seal identifying, or should be seeing all of this. Yeah, radioing into Dida. Dida is going to catch the kill on the corner. Sarcasm goes down. KFOT take map number 2. We're headed to a map 3 decider. And it's going to be KFOT's map pick. So coming off of a map win, they go into the map pick. Just like the power of momentum that we saw from Cinder going into the second map was there. It's now very much reversed hands. KFOT do have the advantage of going somewhere they're comfortable in, or their opponent's uncomfortable in. say quarantine. Snow Peak again, I think, off the table. Cargo's there, but it's feels like a decent map for Cinder, so I don't know if K-Flaw would want to pick into that. Yeah. Quarantine as expected for map 3. Do finally get a little bit of range in the series here. A quick check B starts. Bear with me as I am a little bit preoccupied, but I can still talk while I'm doing this. So I can give a shout out again to everyone tuning in. You're on Facebook, YouTube, Meta, YouTube, Twitch, or Horizon Venues. We appreciate you stopping by and enjoying action. Quick look at the folks that have been in here. Narcotizer, Gun Grip Customs, Mickey's, Mixologist. Appreciate you all stopping by. Steve Jameston watching in Venues. A handful of folks. So no matter where you're at, we do appreciate you stopping by and the action. Kind of a preview of what could be the... We're still doing the round robin tournament, so it could be that round robin tourney. These two teams, again, at their ranks, very close to that 7th place in the ladder, and in particular, Cinder, who are ranked 12th, even closer than K5, who I think are 19th overall in that ladder. And it looks like we have sorted our tech issue out. When you transition from a night vision map to a non-night vision map, things can be bad. And so as we do get into the action, we get right into the action. It's going to be KFOD on the attack, as it is their map pick, and Cinder on the defense for round number 1 on Quarantine. We are quick on that tech restarter. We could have missed the start of this round. We could have missed what could be an early pick from Daniel as they do set up here. And those shots actually distract them to allow for Seal to cross. Whether that was intentional or not, it ends up working out nicely. K-Fod are now all set up, and it's a little too late to try and catch out that rotator all the way in the north side.
Be careful.
Very spread out defense for Cinder here. Really requires a lot of coordination and communication, a lot of consistent monitoring of your teammates' statuses well, so you know where your potential weak points are in what could be a potentially very spread out line. Not potentially is a very spread out line, as you can see here. One all the way over in the north who's taking the shots, trying to nullify this rotation. Spot to take up, as they do have very limited cover. It is somewhat of a head peak, so yeah, 1/2 cover, but not 3/4. They are certainly out in the open. It'll be easy to identify there, but either way, KFOD don't seem to continue to challenge, and Dida actually catches the kill over in the north. That does open up big opportunities for this duo, who were going to rotate around differently, but now that that north presence is gone, Steel 54 can rotate around up onto this north side. Ease as well tries to make a presence known as they start to push into the north patio just in front here, and they're looking for kills on to the likes of so far not connecting. Cinder defense has to stay tucked in. They want to be successful. There's plenty of time left yet for K-Pod to try and get close to this objective.
아까 피버님 거라고 하지 않았어요? 안 보여, 안 보여.
Little communication there between the K-Fod squad as they try and hash out how they want to approach this.
흰차에서 화질 봅시다. 흰차에서 화질 좀 봅시다.
Wonder what kind of kill count they have. If they have an accurate idea of their approach here. They've gotten rid of Daniel inside burning building. That's going to be a big opening up here of this defense, and in particular the on objective defense, because Madman Mito's so far away. There's potential where this objective could get capped if they lose Sky and Sarcasm, and so KFOT could kick things off big. They do things right. Mito does get rid of number 3 in the south. They have Daniel as well, who could identify and call out information, but here comes this rotation over onto the objective side. Seal and Eves are in objective building now. Mito fortunately has crashed back. Team kills Sky. Eves actually botching that smoke, now up above the duo here, as there's a trade on the edge. It's going to be a 1-for-1. On objective gets a little spicy. Flash for flash, it seems. So Seal can't push down on the Sarcasm. He's just calling this information out, though. Is Seal going to be ready for Sarcasm on the close corner? They're not. 2 left for 2 of KFOTs. Make it 1 of Cinder for 2 of KFOTs, as they're now up into the advantage. Sarcasm goes up to the top story, looking for any potential cap there. Isn't going to spot it, but they have to panic defense and be out in the open now, as they do catch Dida, but it's a trade, and with 1 left alive on KFOT, Fever is going to get KFOT their Marsoc win and round number 1 in their pocket. Impressive out the gate here between these two. An absolute battle all the way through every round, seemingly taking us down into a 1v1. You take a look at the KDs there. Dida 4-1 on the start of this round. Definitely helps get KFOT that Marsoc W, the early lead, and now the series lead, as the total scoreline is tied 6-6 apiece. It was 6-6 apiece, but now 7-6. As KFOT potentially ride the momentum from a map 2 win. Potentially, because we don't know how Cinder's going to attack just yet, and maybe we're going to trade Marsoc rounds here this afternoon to kick things off on Quarantine. Quarantine is not a map unknown to Cinder. Did look at their stats, it would have been a map that I would have anticipated they would even have potentially picked if it was a choice for them to choose maps. That third map pick, obviously not theirs, but they have played it twice and won it twice. And so not necessarily slouches on the Quarantine map, but KFOT certainly did play it well, and we'll have to see what their defense looks like, because their defenses have been pretty aggressive so far. So I wonder if Cinder will be ready for any sort of kind of counter play out the gate here. I'm also looking at the rosters. We haven't seen any subs come in. Both teams sticking with all 5 throughout the course of this series, which means that these players have been playing a good solid hour and a half of Onward without a break. That certainly can be taxing, and so stamina can become a factor when you get into a Map 3 decider like this. Now really just waiting in between these rounds, though. Like I said, a minute and 20 minute and a half, I believe, between rounds for the teams to hash out strategies. If you don't know, they're sitting in a lobby right now, all together on comms, looking at a map that they are drawing on just as a team. Both teams don't see each other's maps, and so you can kind of draw out strategies in this between round lobby. I wonder if Cinder are trying to sort of maybe reset themselves here, think of a good solid strategy, maybe even consider a cap attempt, or if they can, to try and do what KFOT did to them on their map pick on Bazaar, where they ended up pushing that lead up to 2-1 and then taking the map. And so this is definitely an objective to go for a cap on, and I would think Cinder should be planning to try and go for that. How they do it is the question, of course. Put their scrumming up now, but sometimes teams will opt to really not even go for the cap. They'll just try and eliminate the defense. So, we'll have to see. Ooh, it does look like we have a timeout coming in. Timeouts can last up to 10 minutes, and so we do have 2 dropping out of Cinder. That means they're taking their headsets off, maybe going into the shooting range to stay loose. But it means we are going to cut to a brief break and give you a chance to charge your headsets if you are tuning in over on Venues. Now is the time. You've been watching for a good solid hour and a half, and so you are going to need some more juice for what could be a great Map 3. So charge the headsets, stick around, don't go anywhere. When we come back, it's going to be the series decider, Map 3 on Quarantine. Already off to a good start for KFOT, but Cinder trying to reset with the timeout. Don't go anywhere. welcome back everybody to the finale of KFOT versus Cinder. It's been an all-out battle this afternoon, but we are here on quarantine for map number 3 in this series decider. KFOT have the early 1-0 lead, but after a timeout, we'll see if Cinder have been able to reset, refocus, and potentially re-grab a Marsoc round of their own so that they can even the odds back up here on KFOT's map pick. Again, definitely not the ideal start for Cinder on their opponent's map choice. This could have been an ideal start there as Sarcasm just misses the shots onto number 3's head. Information, though, for number 3 given away identifies their location and potential spawn. They radio that into the team. It can kind of help shift the defensive style. Right now, you can see up in the overhead that north defense not afraid to push because they know now that Cinder has spawned in the south, and they're actually getting very aggressive. So if there is any presence over in that east side of the map where they do try and push up to the north, then it's going to be very hard for this offense. Otherwise, they really are relying on number 3 to do a lot of defensive killing here. If 3 goes down, they kind of lose their south defense in a lot of ways. They don't have a great grasp of the south here because they do have 2 so far in the north. It really is an opportunity for Cinder to potentially exploit. We'll have to see how they try and do that, though, as this cross is going to be challenging with number 3 here. Certainly are aware of 3's presence.
Is anybody on the roof?
If anything, they're stalling for maybe a bit too long, as you do see Seal over in the corner of the eye, potentially rotating up alongside a few others over on that east side. Definitely don't want to get sandwiched into this hospital building by an aggressive defense.
Smoked it, smoked it.
That's a great toss smoke, a perfectly placed smoke that'll blind number 3's vision and not allow number 3 to relocate that smoke because it's on the outside of the building. So really nice job. Eej goes down, trying to get a little too aggressive, and as the smoke edge there, number 3 has a view just on the side of that smoke, and so they do catch one. Mito could be up next. Number 3 is hunting, certainly confidently waiting for more to potentially push here.
Echo 3. I got center burning.
Rez does come
Center
through
burning,
for
center
KFOT on that
burning.
side on the east, though, and so the call out that they have 3 left alive isn't accurate. Cinder may end up being caught off guard by that, as both Eej and Seal are here. Could be charging forward into this offense soon. Seal certainly is, and this could potentially allow Sky to get around them even. Sky could potentially swing over to the north. Ares hearing this. And Mito should be continuing their push towards the objective because this is an advantage. These are defenders way away from the objective right now. Ares may seem trapped, but the rest of this team has much clearer paths forward. Not Sky actually catches Seal as shots come up over the top from Fever onto Sky to try and get rid of them. Ease is also here in that divot, but they are going to tuck in. Ares will confirm Seal.
Okay, what are we at?
We're into a 3v3 here. Again, they think they have only 2 left. Is a great nade tossed there. Does go into the pit and catch Eej.
Come on, where'd they get the revive?
Now KFOT have only 2, and they are only on objective as Madman Mito gets ever closer. There's an opportunity for them to cap outside on the corner as well that Dida has to be wary of. Fever trying to rotate. Mito's here and ready. Catches the kill. Dida's alone on objective as they do try and get aggressive. A nice flash up and over. Does catch Mito out. Counter flash comes in. Doesn't go far enough to catch Dida.
He's in on the objective.
Dida does come up and over, though, and does get one. Mito goes down. No support from their teammates on Cinder, and so it's a 1v2 for now. a tough objective to hold alone as well. You really got to watch a lot of angles, the corners, the roofs, the sides, the edges, and Daida's doing a great job of just that. They certainly understand the potential cap corners of this OBJ, and that nade almost did catch them, but for now, no one is punching in the code, and Cinder... Oh, maybe Not Sky could get there. Maybe those footsteps heard. Not Sky has the tablet out, and no, Daida goes down as they try and check the corner. Not Sky ready for that peek. They find the kill, and a bounce back for Cinder. We trade Marsoc rounds, and when we look at the overall score, we see it is tied dead even 7-7. This series absolutely delivering as a great battle back and forth here. Goes to show why the game is so fun competitively to watch and play. Again, these two teams have really been so even in their battle here this afternoon. It's been really fun to tune into. Has me wondered what we're in store for with the new objective placement here. Especially if we're trading Marsoc rounds, how does it go here? As this is another capital objective, much like that last one. Oftentimes defenses will end up leaving an open angle or two, and so you gotta wonder if either team's considering a cap opportunity. Did have a disconnect on the Cinder, a quick reconnect though, and so we should be on our way into round 3 any moment. No more delays to find out who our champion will be. Well, I say that, but I guess no more delays other than the minute and a half between rounds where these teams are strategizing, because they are going to be utilizing it that full time between rounds to try and hash out the best plan forward. It looks like a quick spawn for KFOT here, as we do go into a round reset. KFOT will be spawning in this corner, and so they are going to be able to attack pretty aggressively. Oftentimes, defenses will try and set up and, if anything, have an entire defense ready and waiting for the quick spawn, and then shift and adjust your strategy around that information of, is there anyone at quick spawn? If not, then let's change how we're set up to accommodate. Like they keep having some trouble over there on Cinder's side for their 5th. Not ideal, as eventually we will need to start the round regardless of tech issues, and they may have to play 4v5. Can't find this 5th soon. And if you are tuning in and maybe getting that itch to play, you can download this game right now if you have a Quest or Quest 2. You just open up that library if you're watching on venues and pick up Onward. It's oftentimes on sale, so if you haven't bought it already, I would recommend maybe waiting around for a sale. It might be on sale right now, actually. No, I'm thinking of Blast On, which is another game that we have leagues for, which is on sale right now. So if you do want to pick up a game, I guess that one's on sale, but Onward, an easy recommendation. And again, downloadable and playable on your Quest or Quest 2. Looks like they have their 5th back in lobby. Hopefully they are no longer plagued with tech issues, as this seems to be a continuous trend for areas where they've had to drop and reconnect multiple times in these lobbies here. So definitely can negatively impact the team when it kind of throws off that momentum and pacing, and especially if you drop in the round, you end up putting your team at a disadvantage. So hopefully everything's sorted there and won't be any more issues, any more delays for, again, what has been a long wait for this final map. Quick spawn here for KFOT. Doesn't get abused, meaning KFOT don't find any early kills out of their spawn. And if anything, Cinder are able to set up. Ready and waiting. You can see here both sides watching their respective sides of the street. I think those shots
He probably
coming
wants to die
in.
quicker so he can reset.
Covered here, though, on objective defense. Very much there, but if they lose this back south side, it could open up opportunities for a capped attempt from KFOT, so we'll have to see how KFOT does try and navigate this spawn again, putting them so close to this objective early, and with shots this coming in from this side that early, it kind of gives away their spawn, I think.
Echo 4.
Sarcasm's position paying off. One trying to cross. Safely tucked in and only shootable if the team does commit to pushing these stairs. Like this double setup here from Cinder. It seems to be pretty powerful on this objective. Seems to be, meaning that we'll see how powerful it is when Fever and 3 try and push it, but that's going to be not for a few more minutes. Ida and Man go down to each other, both unresable. South opens up a little bit, and man, there's a long. Yeah, again, we're not going to see anything for a few more minutes here, would be my guess. How long that rotation's going to take to get all the way over to the east. This middle side's not middle team. That is just maybe 10 or 15 feet from, or 10 or 15 yards from objective. Will not be pushing it till that attacker rotates all the way around from the east side, so have to wait.
업링크 뒤쪽 언덕 쪽에 그쪽에 한 명 있어요.
Might finally be time to start prepping the push.
예.
Deal is starting to rotate. They do make it across, but do take shots and eventually go down, so the wait for that rotation is now spoiled, and it's going to be up to just Fever and 3, who have been here since the start of this round, to now finally try and push closer to this objective. They'll get one. Sarcasm will go down, but Not Sky is still alive, and they got 3 more on the backside to defend the south. So how do 3 and Fever push this street is the question. Doesn't go down, missed shots coming through, and now they're completely suppressed with Fever pushing the short corner, so definitely got a lot of enemy pressure around them. Fever is still alive, though, catches the confirm. Now what does the duo do to defend? They don't have a hold on the corner, especially with smokes coming in, but Ares is going to be there to find the shots out the window before the setup can come through. A nice rotation there that catches the kill before what could have been a capped there. And Cinder take a defensive round. Again, taking a look at the KDs. Red. Cinder have the point lead, though. So 1 here on their opponent's map pick. They do go on the attack next, though, and continue to trade down Marsoc rounds, or Volk rounds, excuse me. Then Cinder will actually win, because again, this is K-Fot's map pick, and they started on the attack, so. If you can defend your way to a victory, then that's going to be a victory nonetheless, especially when it is that series deciding map. Especially when Cinder need this win to really push themselves up in contention for that top 8. This is going to be a big win for them if they can net this, so definitely going to want to stay focused and make sure that all the technical, everything is working before they start rounds, which is why they're so diligent on making sure that happens. We got a couple of sets. But we'll see if that continues to happen or if we will be getting into round 4 here soon enough. We crashed over 2 hours of gameplay as I run out of things to talk about. And go into round number 4. Oh, and early shots from Cinder do get them a kill. More shots coming in almost get them a double, but like Seal is able to tuck in time. Meanwhile, Dida pushing forward here, going past Sky, getting a bit aggressive. Cost them their life, a 1-for-1 trade. K-Fot's down to just 3. And Seal is very off objective. Lucky that Cinder aren't full sending down the center here off of what was an early kill and now I guess they don't know that they've got another one, but a 3-4 advantage. As Seal checks the tablet, they realize that there's only 3 defenders, and so it seems that they are potentially rotating back. Man, what an easy cap here. Yeah, you literally just walk down Main Street right up to the objective. There isn't a single eye on that defending it right now. Beaver does now get out into the courtyard. Number 3 seemingly reinforcing this as well. But now the cap seems a little tougher to accomplish. Good rotations from K-Fot to recognize their weak points.
Got him, Echo 2, Echo 2.
Sarcasm getting Seal, and now they know that they have a 4v2 on their hands. Pushing up and getting close is going to be vital because you do not want to waste an opportunity to try and cap. You do not want to waste an opportunity to try and lock in the series when you've got this kind of lead. You have the 2-1. You're on the attack. I really think the cap should be the focal point here, especially with where 3 is. They get Fever down, they have the time to punch the code in, and so I'll have to see. I think 3 is likely to go down before Fever does, though. Mainly because Mito might catch that kill first. There it is. And now the on-objective defender is the only one left alive. Daniel has an eye on it. They're going to find the kill. Cinder won't win the series yet, but they will take the points and push this up to a series decider. 3-1 on map 3 now. Objective doesn't change location much, kicks it deeper into the south. However, this adjustment does change substantially just how you have to defend the objective, meaning that you don't have to really invest in a whole lot of defense in the forward. You really could tuck in and wait for this the attacking team to push to you. And so I think Cinder definitely looking at a golden opportunity in front of them. 3-1 on the defense. Just need to play safe. Safe defense is what's needed here. Otherwise, it is going to be, I don't know, either way. They're up 3-1 right now on map 3. KFOT's choice of all things, too, so definitely not what KFOT were expecting. See some cheering going on in chat. Stopping by, I don't know. IBANs, Mithril Marauder, Salty Foo. A few other names we've already shouted out, but thank you for stopping by. If you are new and you do like what you're seeing here, please do come back next weekend or tomorrow afternoon at 12 p.m. PST. We do this regularly on the weekends, and so you can catch this live here on this channel, twitch.tv/VRMasterLeague, but also Facebook, YouTube, and Venues Worlds, I believe is what it's called now, or Horizon Worlds, one or the other.
Bro, it's not our fault. I know.
Into it we go, though. Again, Cinder defending. Could be the series point here with a quick spawn from KFOT. Oh, and they're not actually going to utilize it too heavily. If at all. Ease is really the only one that's pushed up here. Don't see smokes in first person, so they are blinding their vision in front of them here. Oh, not quite enough out of the edge there, though. Daniel does get picked up. KFOT off to a good start, 4-3. Only a forward defender there. He directs the smoke. Where does the offense go from here? Oh, Mito gets a big kill to even the odds. Dida went down trying to cross a ramp behind E there. Sure, no one's in the same position that they were in last round. Finishing spending a couple bits of resources to clear it out. And now they've crossed the street. Haven't gotten to the hard part of pushing the objective quite yet, though, and that's what's going to be the challenge for someone like Seal up the middle here. Perfect smokes, or a ton of them to get the vision denial they need to get close enough. That smoke actually pretty good. Not perfect, though, and there's not enough of them. They need a few more smokes to follow up. Either way, KFOT has been allowed to get very close to this objective here. Ares is a big threat to this push, too. They could fly off that roof. Have the backs of Peas, Fever, and Seal if they're not careful. Steel's going to drop off. Ease says no dice after the smoke dissipates. And number 3 going to have to go get that kill. They want to open up this objective defense, and it looks like Sarcasm seems to be ready for that threat on the corner. Counter utility comes in. Another flash comes out. That one's gonna blind 3. That'll stall them long enough for Sarcasm to tuck in. Not Sky also aware of this threat. Sarcasm is really out in the open here. Wary of Seal. Here's these footsteps to their right. Is wary of them as well. As Sky catches a lot of heat, their teammate's going to peek the short corner and support them over the top. Sky goes prone and survives as the bullets do stop. K-Fought 3 being a big threat here, though, does get Sky. Sarcasm goes down. They're picking apart this defense. There's the confirm, and Cinder only have 2 left. K-Fought's trying to push up for the cap as they get the defender behind. It's all up to Ares to clutch this alone in a 1v4. There's Fever on the objective. They're dead. Minute 50 left on the clock. Where's the utility? Because they don't have any, and Ares has the end-all be-all position here. Seal can't get behind. They go down. Ares trying to clutch this up. The big thing is, are they going to be ready for number 3 on the ridge? They seem to be wary of the threat there. And they do spot number 3 as the shots do ring out. They don't quite connect. How many rounds left does Ares have is the question. Do they know that Eage is alive as well? Because there is definitely Eage able to push up and potentially cap that objective. Being that last defender, Ares has to check it, and they do. Eage tucks back around a corner. There's a minute left. If anything, those shots do give information to Ares. Trying to hold down for 50 seconds longer. The 1v2 trying to clutch this up for their team. Interesting rotations. That would work. They were a second later or earlier. Eage is going to push up to the objective here. They're going to get up to the white car. They are tablet out. Ares is not going to see Eage get onto the other side while they're distracted, and Eage is going to be punching in this code. K-Fought's going to tie this thing up. Unless Eage can't get this code in, Ares tries to find it. Number 3 goes down. Eage tries to punch this code in. Ares spots him out, and the bullets connect. Eage can't get it. And Cinder clutch it up from with Ares in a massive 4-kill round. 5-0. Actually, that was 5 kills. They aced that round. Cinder take the W. What a finale to a fantastic series between these two. But Cinder is going to be the one that will take this map 3 win. Quite the battle here this afternoon to be tuning into, and happy that we did catch what was a great series. Ultimately, Cinder is going to advance ever closer to that top 8 and potentially be a contender, so we're going to have to keep our eyes on them going into the future weeks of what are only, I think, the final 2 weeks of regular season left. And until then, we're getting to that postseason where we will have giveaways live on this channel when we get into that postseason in October, so you're going to want to tune into that action when it happens. October, not November. October, so you are going to want to catch that action when it happens. I think it's the middle of October. I don't have the exact date, which I should have, but either way, you are going to want to catch that postseason action. And very much looking forward to teams competing for that prize pool. Anyway, that'll be it for me here on the desk. My name's Ben Nightfire with 2 E's. A shout out to all of you tuning in. I appreciate all of you. Until next time, which will be tomorrow at 12 p.m. PST, right here on this channel. Stay classy.